So, it's almost like when people go to jail and they're in jail for decades and then they come out and they're like, everything is strange. I don't want to be out here. And then they commit a crime so they can go back to what they're used to. So that's what's happening with, our habits, and the fruit-based diet is very strange. I don't blame them, because when I first went raw in 2011 and I first saw somebody eating apples as a meal, I was very, very concerned. Like, he looks crazy to me, this guy just eating apples upon apples, 8, 10 apples. And I'm just like, this is a serial killer. Matt, like, I looked at him like he was a crazy fucking person, because that was strange. But then now I see what I didn't know. I was living a strange lifestyle where, like, one apple was like, whoa, that was a feat, eating one apple, and then you eat the real food. Why is it, Matt, that people don't think fruit is real food? It's because we're so removed from our ancestors, and from nature.
Well, the first question I should ask, the channel name, do you like it? FRUITion.
I love it. Yeah, it's genius. That's genius.
Is it too hard to say?
FRUITion. It's a little hard to say. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all right. It'll do.
It's really, like, original, and people will have to say it. They'll have to learn how to say it.
Yeah, they'll get used to it. Well, okay, I'll say welcome to FRUITion then, where I sit down and chat with people that are eating a frugivorous diet. Do you say frugivorous or frugiverous, by the way?
Frugiverous.
So I've heard both.
Frugiverous.
That sounds more right to me.
Yeah, frugiverous.
People that are eating a frugivorous diet, a diet that is based predominantly on fruit supplemented by other plant foods. JeannetteDonofrio, known by her online name Ms.FitVegan, is a fruit-based raw vegan social media influencer who since 2011 has naturally healed her cystic acne, chronic fatigue, migraines, IBS, eczema, and depression. She's lost over 50 pounds and more. Her passion is sharing her story and advice with those who need it, and to help people and animals escape unnecessary suffering. She one day hopes to open a fast fruit cafe named Fruit is Life. I've personally watched and listened to many hours of her content and can attest to her incredible skills as a motivator. She has a natural talent for snapping people out of their poor dietary habits. Jeannette has now made a living out of teaching people how to live a fruit-based lifestyle. Welcome, Jeannette.
Thank you so much, Matt, for having me. I'm so excited to talk to you. It's been a long time, so I think maybe like a year or so. So I'm really grateful. I really appreciate you. And yeah, I'm excited to get into this.
Yes, thank you so much for making this happen. This is really exciting, chatting to you. So obviously I just gave you a little intro, but if you could sum up in 30 seconds, yourself, what you do, what your purpose is, what would you say?
Yes. So that was a great intro. That was amazing. And my purpose is definitely to help people to get off dead animal body parts and start eating more fruit, because it just makes sense. And I know for sure we're not here to hurt animals. We are definitely here to be healthy and help each other and be happy and thriving and not sick and in the hospital. It just makes sense. When I found the raw food diet in 2011, it just made sense, and I've been just living it ever since. And then in 2017, I started my YouTube channel and sharing it, and here I am. So that's me.
Awesome. Can you quickly explain the basics of a frugivorous diet to people and kind of what that term means and why our biology is suited for that kind of diet?
Yeah, good question. So, I consider myself a fruitarian because I eat mostly fruit, and I think it's pretty obvious that our genetic makeup is all the same, right? All humans have the same parts. So, just like lions all eat gazelles, right? No matter where they live in the world, all humans are clearly meant to eat fruit, and the reason is because it leaves our body very quickly. It makes us feel better, look better. It heals us. It's the only food on the planet that doesn't take any energy to digest. And then we can have all of our energy for creating, healing, for, living our life purpose. It's just, there are so many keys to which it's obvious that fruit is our species specific food. It's the only food that doesn't stay in our body and then, what's the word?
Ferment.
Putrefy. Yeah, ferment,
Yeah.
ferment and putrefy and, for days on end. And, even though things like rice and potatoes, they're not going to kill us, but it's obvious that they do not serve us because they stay in our bodies too long. And, we have very long intestines, right? And all the animals that eat animals and can eat these toxic things to the human body, they have very short intestines. Our teeth, even our eyesight, even our personalities, Matt. We don't have the personality to see a rat or a roach or roadkill and salivate and say, I'm hungry, I'll take that. It's obvious to me that we were not designed to eat animals just from that alone. No human on this planet, even if they're starving to death, looks at a dead rat and starts salivating. So it's obvious right there. It's obvious right there. We are not meant to eat animals. Yes, we can eat them. Yes, they taste really good when you cook them and you put spices on them. Right now, somebody's clearly cooking some type of dead animal in my apartment building complex, and it smells really good. And I've been a vegan for the animals for 15 years. It still smells good because of the spices used. But that doesn't mean we're supposed to be eating them.
Mhm.
Okay. Just because people are doing things doesn't mean we're supposed to be doing them. There's a lot of things that are happening in this world right now that people are doing that are not supposed to be happening, you know? So like, factory farming and then these, sweatshops and just all types of horrible things that are happening in this world. So yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. And I think you would agree.
Totally. I think you made some great points there. I remember this Doug Graham bit during one of his speeches where he talks about just putting anything in a pan with a bit of butter, a bit of salt, bit of pepper, and anything tastes good.
Uh,
Including meat and
yes, including feces, because as you know, no, seriously, when you buy a ground beef, you're not just getting the animal, you're getting their intestines, you're getting their feces, you're getting the rats and roaches from the slaughterhouse floor.
mm,
Okay, so anybody that is eating dead animal body parts and having burgers and hot dogs and ground beef and any of these things, they need to know what they're eating. So you're
mm,
eating feces and you're putting spices on it and you're thinking you're so fucking cool with your feces burger, and it's just like I'm looking at you like this is horrific, this is disgusting, I would never in a million years eat that. So yeah, people need to understand what they're eating.
what are the challenges of kind of communicating with people about that sort of thing where like to you and maybe to me, people who have been vegan for a while, you look at other people eating meat and dairy and eggs and stuff and you think, oh, we're living in the matrix, like this is crazy. But to most people it's just the default, it's what they've grown up with, and they hear you talk about we're supposed to eat fruit and they think that that's crazy. you know how do how do you overcome those challenges of kind of cracking through? It's obviously like it's probably the biggest challenge for someone who is a believer in kind of like veganism and that diet, how to get through to people without putting them off, without making them become defensive. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but
It's very challenging, Matt, because I mean, I just ran my retreat a few days ago, and there was some women at the retreat that I could tell they don't eat fruit as a meal, even though they're following me, they're clients of mine. I could tell, one mango is like enough, and they can't eat anymore. And then they want like, the crackers, the raw vegan crackers, or they want them, we made like raw vegan meatballs, and they want other stuff, even for a breakfast or lunch. And so I noticed that it's very strange for people to eat fruit as a meal, even if they're vegan or even if they're trying to eat high raw. But we have to rethink everything when it comes to our food, because yeah, it is strange because just because we're not doing it, it's just we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, so it is strange. I'm trying to think of the things that we're supposed to be doing. Okay, for example, it should be strange for us to be wearing clothing. We're the only species on the planet that wears clothing. It should be strange, Matt, for us to be living inside. We're the only species on the planet, but because we're doing it, it's not strange to us. So, it's almost like when people go to jail and they're in jail for decades and then they come out and they're like, everything is strange. I don't want to be out here. And then they commit a crime so they can go back to what they're used to. So that's what's happening with, our habits, and the fruit-based diet is very strange. I don't blame them, because when I first went raw in 2011 and I first saw somebody eating apples as a meal, I was very, very concerned. Like, he looks crazy to me. This guy just eating apples upon apples, 8, 10 apples. And I'm just like, this is a serial killer, Matt. Like, I looked at him like he was a crazy fucking person, because that was strange. But then now I see what I didn't know. I was living a strange lifestyle where like one apple was like, whoa, that was a feat, eating one apple, and then you eat the real food. Why is it, Matt, that people don't think fruit is real food? It's because we're so removed from our ancestors, and from nature. So yeah.
Oh yeah, and I know you've read Return to the Brain of Eden, because we've discussed that book, and I'd recommend that book to anyone who's looking into that sort of thing. It really helps switch on some things in the brain. And you're kind of talking about intention versus like action when it comes to like, oh, I want to live like a fruit-based lifestyle. Like, I've listened to your content for ages and I've gone through this a lot, and I still do. And I find just it comes with repetition and really immersing yourself in that world. Like, I love the quote that you become what you think about by Earl Nightingale, and that you really have to just consistently watch and listen to the kind of content that is going to move you in the right direction. Because there's a difference between saying, oh, I want to do this thing, and then actually doing it. You need to kind of get through to your subconscious mind. And I've heard you say that you're some of the top 5 people you surround yourself with. So do you want to talk a bit about that?
About the top 5 people I hang around?
No, just like that.
In general, yes. I was like, no,
you can if you want, but
no, because I don't really hang around on a daily basis. I don't really hang around fruitarians or people that are raw. My closest,
right? Like, you when you were getting into lifestyle, you would have listened to them.
Yes, you definitely become what you think about, what you consume, who you hang around. And if you don't like the people you're hanging around, then make sure that you're consuming the content of the people you want to become like. And it's like, if you want to get off the cooked food, you're going to have to stop watching the cooking channel and all these people cooking, because it is become such a normal part of our culture. But it is not normal. Just because everyone's doing it doesn't mean it's normal. So yeah, I would definitely just unsubscribe from anyone that is eating cooked food if you don't want to eat cooked food anymore. And just consume a lot of content from people that know what they're talking about. Fred Bishi, Doug Graham, who I'm a big fan of Doug Graham, even though I don't subscribe to such a restrictive way of eating in the beginning. That's a big thing. It's like people think they're using self-discipline, but it's actually self-sabotage in the beginning. The 80-10-10 movement, I definitely agree with 80-10-10. That's the ideal way of eating. I'm eating 80-10-10 now, right? Easily. But in the beginning, I would have fallen off. I would have never been sitting here talking to you. I would have never been raw for 15 years if I tried to go straight into 80-10-10. For me personally, I needed a lot more fat. I needed no restriction. It's restricting enough to do fruit, vegetables, nuts, and seeds in this crazy world of bread and pasta and all this stuff. So, I don't agree with diving into 80-10-10 personally, but I'm excited to meet Doug. I'm going to meet Doug in 3 weeks. So I'm really excited for that. Yep. At a festival. He's going to be teaching workouts at the days that I'm not. So I'm going to go to his workouts. I'm so excited. And, I just think it's important for everyone to do what works for them, especially in the beginning. If you find yourself falling off, that's not working. And I just think we need to stop consuming the content of the people we don't want to be like, and of people that scare us too. There's so much fear mongering out there. And I just saw, on Chef AJ, I saw this guy saying why so many vegans are dying did you see that, Matt? It's just like, what vegans are dying? Literally, that was the title, because she knows, and everyone knows, that if you have a very scary title, everyone's going to click on it. Any type of drama, any type of fear, people like go right towards it. So like, why so many vegans are dying on a plant-based diet or something? And it's just like, I don't know one vegan that died. I mean, we can talk about Mango Wadzak, but like, that's the only one recently that I know of. What other vegan or raw vegan has died? Yeah, that doctor.
They're always like dry fasting or like fasting cases, like
Yeah.
Robert Lockhart.
Meanwhile, nobody's talking about the 5 million people that die every year from obesity. Nobody's talking about that, but we're talking about the 1 or 2 vegans that died last year.
Yeah, I think like obviously vegans are going to die. Vegans die, raw vegans die. People are just looking to put a spotlight. Yeah. They don't want to. They don't want to be confronted by that idea. But I think that's an interesting segue into the kind of ex-vegan phenomenon and the ex-raw vegan phenomenon. It's a thing. I've heard of many people in my real life who have gone vegan. I couldn't do it. I went back. You see YouTubers who go vegan or raw vegan, and then they go back. They become ex-vegans. What do you think is like the number one reason behind that? What do you think people aren't quite doing right? And also, just for context, I'm sure everyone knows who Doug Graham and 80-10-10 is, that's actually listening to this. But Doug's book, The 80-10-10 Diet, is a great book to check out. 80% carbohydrates, 10% fat, 10% protein is what 80-10-10 means. But yeah, what are your thoughts on, ex-vegans and what leads someone to becoming an ex-vegan?
Yeah, they just never made the connection. They never truly accepted the truth, which is we are not here to hurt animals. They have never, it comes down to they just didn't make the connection yet. I truly believe that everyone has the ability to open up their heart to the truth and make the connection. Also, some people, it's not their lifetime to give a shit. I'm just being honest. I don't think it's their lifetime. I know it's my lifetime. I don't care what it takes. I'll never go back to supporting the animal cruelty industry just because it's not fucking right. I'm not an animal person. Like if I see an animal, I'm not even going, personally, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I don't feel comfortable around animals. Like I wasn't raised with animals. So if I see a dog or a cat or something like, they're cute, I respect them, but I don't go over to pet them because I don't know if they're going to bite me or react. Okay. So I'm not an animal person, but when I realized what I was contributing to, Matt, I immediately didn't want to be a part of that. I didn't want to be a part of paying people to hurt animals for me for no reason. And so the people that go back to eating animals, and I know many people, my best friend included, they just never made the connection. And I don't know if they will in this lifetime. I just know that I did. And the people that get sick eating a vegan diet, oh, sorry. I said my friend's name and she's calling me. Okay. I said, yeah. So she's the one. So I'm really disappointed in her and everybody that goes back to eating animals. And it's really hard, but you can't take it personally. Obviously, it has nothing to do with you or your influence. It's just them and their lifetime and their experience here on Earth. And they just didn't make the connection because nobody on this planet makes the connection and then goes back. Nobody. That's just impossible. It to me, it's just like, there's no separation between animals and humans. And I know, they're not going to eat a human body. So why would they eat an animal's body? Only if they see it as a different thing, a different entity. And then one life means more than the other. But who are we to say which species is more valuable than the other? If anything, Matt, I feel like humans are the least valuable species on this fucking planet. I'm sorry, but like we are just so selfish, greedy, and just destroying this planet more than any other species. Every other species is just living their life, and the ecosystem is working and they're making things better. There's not one species on this planet that is destroying the planet the way we are, digging for oil and ruining the oceans and, using up all the resources. What other species is doing that? So if anything, I think animals should be valued more than humans, but that's just my opinion.
Well, we're so valuable from like an evolutionary perspective. Life has come so far. We're incredible creatures, but yeah, we're so corrupted by the ideas of modern day society, and all of the things that we consume, all of the foods that we eat, or I think taking drugs and smoking cigarettes and alcohol, etc. All of that, it corrupts our minds, leads us to become overstimulated and seek things like power and material resources rather than actual fulfillment. Yeah, and I think when it comes to sticking with a vegan diet, I think about why I do, sometimes, like why am I so determined to stay with this? I feel much better on it now. So
How
that's
long have you been vegan?
I went vegan 5 years ago, but I've really only been 100% strict for like over 3 years, and I personally was under eating when I first went vegan, and I think that's a big reason why people go back, because of the caloric density. So I've spoken about this before. I would have these binge eating episodes when I first went vegan, because I just wasn't eating enough. Eventually, it would just overcome me, and then I would just go and kind of binge eat some foods from my childhood. Like, it was like sometimes it had like dairy or something in it, but eventually I figured it out, and then it's become easier to stay on it. But I had the 100% desire to be vegan then, but then I couldn't 100% stick with it for a couple of years, because it would just kind of completely overcome me. This, like, it felt like a survival instinct, like you have to eat. Like,
It was your microbiome, the bacteria trying to survive. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, that was a really eye-opening experience for me. But also, I think something that I kind of did during that period, I was like, oh man, I want to be 100% on board with this, but for whatever reason, I can't stick to it completely. I would watch a lot of content and read content about the way that the animals were treated, and I think we have to really look at it, and watch things like Earthlings. You've spoken about. Dominion is a really good one. Dominion is the one that just absolutely crushed me, and I think is the main reason that I could just never even imagine going back. Because and some people, they try to justify it by saying that's not every farm, that I eat grass fed or whatever. But even if that is happening to 1% of the animals that you're eating, I just can't. It's just too cruel. I couldn't do it. So I think you have to. It's like back to the same thing. You become what you think about. I think I became a vegan by looking at it right in the eye, like what's happening. Like, and I think about, you spoke about like sweatshops and mining and the way that humans are treated in some parts of the world. And I'm like, well, I still buy brand new electronics and, clothes from stores where I'm sure the human rights issues are there. So I think when it comes to that sort of stuff, I need to read and watch the reality behind that to change that behavior, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, Darren Hardy speaks about this, I think, in the Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster book. I'm not sure where he speaks about this, but he says that, you know, everyone is like drawn towards a cause. And I mean, I was drawn towards animal cruelty. But I absolutely know people that are more passionate about human cruelty and, the sweatshots, and they're not vegan, but they would never buy an iPhone. They would never buy, support that. And I totally respect them and I recognize that. And I think all of us have been here many lifetimes. And so this lifetime, we're drawn to this because of, who knows what happened in our past life. So yeah, I think it's natural for us to be drawn towards certain, injustices and really feel very passionate about it. But if at the end of the day, we can't do everything. We can do something to make this world a better place, but we cannot fight for every cause. There's too many horrible things that humans are doing. Okay. And so, yeah, I'm just doing my part. I think you're definitely doing your part. And I think everybody watching this, just do your part. What can you do in your world? Whether you don't have to promote it, you don't have to be on YouTube, but what can you do in your community and in your family and in your life to just practice what you preach and stand up for what you know is right?
Yeah, and it really is the doing. We have to we have to change our actions to change the world. We can't just talk about it. Can I change the subject a little bit? I've heard you say many times that the average piece of fruit in the supermarket is kind of gross and unripe. Can you just give a couple of simple tips to people to how to find and pick out better fruit to actually make this kind of lifestyle work? Because I can imagine people just walking through the aisles and like, you just eat this. Like it's, most fruit is not appealing from the shelf nowadays.
No, it's gross. I go to the supermarket for water and for greens, and that's pretty much it. And randomly, I will find something amazing, but you don't really want to go to a supermarket, a big chain for fruit. You really want to go to a local, like smaller place, like a farmer's market or a local Asian market or some type of ethnical market. Ethnical? I don't know if that's a word, but ethnic market. But basically, you don't want to go to these big chains because they're buying so much and then they freeze the fruit, then they put it on the shelf. It'll never ripen properly. That's why you get like melons that are rubbery and these apples that taste like nothing. And you really definitely, if you find something good, you'll know it because it will smell. You'll walk into the supermarket and you will smell it before you see it. You'll smell the cantaloupe or you'll smell the peaches. But again, I mean, to me, it's just a waste of time to buy fruit in a supermarket. Yes, you may have to drive farther to go to a farmer's market or a, Asian store, but it's going to be worth it. And, are you worth it at the end of the day? Yeah, because you're going to pay now with your time and your money, or you're going to pay later with your loss of time and your money and your pain and your lifestyle. I mean, I know people, they can't even walk for 10 minutes without pain. Do you know anyone like this?
I mean, yeah, there's certain people I know that are in chronic pain for sure.
What kind of life is this? I had someone at my retreat who's like, she couldn't walk for more than 15 minutes without pain. And it's like, it broke my heart. It broke my heart. I was actually crying that night because I just felt so bad. And I remember now being in severe pain, but it's just been so long that I forgot, back pain and knee pain. And, just the other day, I realized that I could go right back to being in pain because I had salt the other day from my retreat. We had coconut aminos there, and we had some things with some Himalayan pink salt in it. My chef made some crackers and kale chips with a little salt, and I was eating them, and they were so good. And then a few days later, my knee starts to hurt because I need to have knee surgery, and I never had it a long time ago. But as long as I eat mostly fruit, no salt, no oil, just no processed foods, my knee doesn't hurt at all. But just a few days of eating salt and I'm back to being in pain, and it's 15 fucking years that I've been raw. So, the salt is extremely inflammatory, extremely hard on our joints. Nobody should be living in pain. It's the food you're eating, it's the salt, it's the oil, it's the dead animals. And, this woman at my retreat, I hope she says the retreat inspired her, to go raw, to get back on it, because she's in pain because of what she's been eating. And, she's very overweight, and nobody should be nobody should be in pain and not being able to walk. I mean, that is our birthright, to have freedom to move our bodies and go wherever we want and do whatever we want. So, yeah, I forgot the question. Sorry. I don't think there was a question, right? I just started talking.
No, well, that's what this is for. Salt is a really interesting one. Like we have the taste buds, like we love the taste of salt. But that's clearly just like the sodium in plants, right? Not the sodium chloride from the rock salt that we're adding onto our foods. Like, why is that so unhealthy? Because I think everyone can feel it. It makes you thirsty. It is inflammatory. It doesn't make you feel good when you eat an excess amount of salt. It's something I've been just thinking about recently.
Yeah, I mean, it's very stimulating. We like things that stimulate us, but everything that is overstimulating, like extremely stimulating, is bad for us. Everything. The phone, processed sugar, excuse me, the salt, alcohol, oil, all these things, fat. Okay, it's very stimulating, and that's how you know it's not our species specific food.
Totally. All right. gone over a couple of these things. So I will ask you about added sugar. You would have seen the sugar diet kind of blowing up a little bit on the internet recently, and a couple of people who are kind of more raw vegan who eat added sugar like freely. What are your thoughts on sugar that's been separated from the plant, like table sugar, maple syrup, raw agave, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's levels to this. I consume maple syrup once in a while. I don't make a habit of it, but yeah, maple syrup and agave and these things, it's clearly processed and you don't want to have that every day. Now, I want to go on the record, Matt, by saying you'd have to be a fucking idiot to be consuming white sugar and thinking it's healthy. Like, you'd have to be a fucking idiot. And I don't care. I know Freely is a vegan for the animals, and she very much inspired me in the beginning to start eating a lot of fruit. But I just think that is so insane. And I mean, people doing it for the clicks and the views, and I get that. But to promote white sugar as a health food is absolutely insane. And I mean, it's pretty obvious that that cannot be healthy. There's no, maybe it won't make you gain weight, but there can be no health benefits to consuming processed sugar or any type of processed foods. Maple syrup in abundance, agave in abundance, any of these things that are processed. We learned that way before we learned about raw food, right? Like, everybody fucking knows that. So I don't know what we're doing, but there's always some fad diet. And I'm not here for it. Um, I'm not here to be skinny. I'm on the raw food diet because, one, it just makes sense. It's common sense to me. And number two, because I had a lot of health issues and I don't want to go back. Okay, I don't care about being skinny. I think a lot of people do come to the raw food diet, all these influencers, the YouTubers, they come here to maintain their low weight. And I understand that. Yeah, that's great. But when you start promoting things that are super unhealthy as healthy, that's when it really bothers me. Okay, there's these YouTubers that are constantly promoting people fasting, juice fasting, and watermelon fast, mono meal fasting, and restricting, and water fasting, and dry fasting. And it's like, that is so irresponsible, in my opinion. It's so irresponsible because people are taking this advice and then doing it, and then of course they don't have the discipline and the willpower of these other people, and they fall off, and then they think it's them, and their self-esteems are going down, you know and it's just like, I'm here to let everybody know that that is bullshit. That is bullshit. Nobody can do that. Barely anyone can do that, can fast, water fast, juice fast. And if they can do it, they're an exception to the rule. Okay, I can't restrict. If I'm hungry, I have to eat. And that's why the raw food diet works, because you can eat, and you can eat a lot, and you can eat until you're full, and it will heal your cells. And what you were talking about before is very true with the cravings, uncontrollable cravings. Yeah, I experienced that too, because we are more bacteria than we are human cells, right? So whatever you've eaten in the past, it wants more of that. It doesn't want to, it's not thinking, it doesn't have a brain. Your bacteria cells don't have brains. So they're not thinking, oh, this is bad for me. They're thinking, I need to survive. So I'll do whatever it takes to eat that food. So the problem is, and you were saying it perfectly, which is you were under eating. So then you are under eating. So that sets you up for self-sabotage and to have to give in to those cravings of the processed foods, of the dead animal body parts, of the foods that your bacteria wants. But when you're eating as much as you want, your bacteria cells, what happens is, like, they start to die off, and because you're full, you're not restricting, okay, and you're not craving calories. And so the bacteria cells just move through your colon, and they get out, and then you form new microbiome that want the fruit and vegetables. And that's what I did. I ate unlimited, and the universe opened doors for me because I didn't have any money for this. I didn't have money back in the day. And so things happened that just, when I started doing my best and helping myself, then God started helping me, making it happen. So doors will open for you. You don't have to know how you're going to afford this. You just have to start doing what you can, using what you have, and stop making a fucking excuse, because the universe is not going to help you if you do not help yourself. You have to help yourself first. So that's why I really like you, Matt, because you are doing it. You're not making excuses, and you're helping yourself, and you're doing what it takes. And then it gets easier, right? I mean, now 3 years later, I'm sure it's much easier.
Oh yeah, it's really, really easy to be vegan
It's
now.
really easy. Yeah.
I'd much rather be vegan than not, but it certainly is that it's the transition that's the challenge. And also, yeah, like I feel like the kind of health movement, the raw vegan movement, it's so caught up in it's so tied to all this fasting and stuff, like you said. And I tried doing some fasting and intermittent fasting, and you don't eat for 16 hours. All of a sudden, you're really hungry, and you think there's something wrong with you when you go and binge eat. And I can't imagine how many people this has negatively affected. All these people online who are promoting fasting and dry fasting as being the top of the mountain. People have died. People who are YouTubers who have died from dry fasting, and I think there must be people out there who have died who have watched this kind of content, attempting to do this, thinking that they're being the healthiest person they can be. In reality, they're just robbing themselves of water. It's like one of the most essential things for us. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people are desperate. I understand that, and they'll do anything except eat fruit and vegetables, nuts and seeds, and drink water and exercise. You know what I mean? Like people will do anything.
Yeah.
People will go to extremes, and it's like that's how you know it's not healthy. Stop going to the extreme. I don't even want to be part of the raw food diet because it's so toxic. There's so many people promoting restriction and fasting, and they think that's part of a raw food diet, and it's not. So I make my own eat fruit be cute diet. I've been doing that for a while now in my private community, Misfit Mondays, where it's like we're on the eat fruit be cute diet. You eat as much fruit, vegetables, nuts, and seeds as you want. You do not restrict. You don't go on cleanses. You don't stop eating at fucking 1 p.m. Okay, like I mean, you do if that works for you, but most people it doesn't work for. You don't restrict. You don't eat one meal a day. You just eat an abundance of healthy food, and you focus on fruit and vegetables. And nuts and seeds are like the condiments of the diet. And you focus on the fruit and vegetables, and everything gets better. And so that's the diet I'm on, or that I'm promoting. The raw food diet seems to be sprinkled with all these type of eating disorders, people that are hiding their eating disorder, and I'm not here for it because I'm not dying in any way possible. And it's because of these people that are not eating that people like me seem to be the anomaly, where it's like, how are you not dead? Everybody else is deficient. No, but everyone else is not eating. And they need supplements. Now they need this and that because they're not eating. It's very simple to be healthy on a raw food diet, but you have to eat when you're hungry. You cannot just restrict and starve yourself and have an eating disorder and call it the raw food diet.
Yeah, it's the whole cleansing thing. People start to see it as an achievement to go as much time as they can without eating, and then it's
yeah. You're not winning any award. The only award, Matt, that they're winning is the dumb fuck of the year award. Okay, like I am so sick of these people. I would be sick, but I'm raw, so I don't get sick. But I am so tired of these people that think it's some fucking great achievement to do 100 days on watermelon. You look dumb. Because you know what? After the 100 days, I know what you're doing. You're binging. You're drinking. You're eating all the foods that you were craving and wishing to eat, and then that's why you do it again. You're 100 days on 100 days, and who even knows if they're doing 100 days? We don't know what they're doing. So, yeah,
that's true. Yeah, you really don't know what these people are doing online. They say they're doing one thing, but they could be doing something else. Yeah, it's crazy. Can I talk to you about the fact that you recently became a certified hypnotist? Is that right?
Yes. Oh my God, Matt, I'm so excited to talk about this. Yes. Okay. So it's a long story, but long story short is I met someone that teaches hypnotherapy, right? Hypnosis. And I went to him for sleep, because I had insomnia most of my life. So I'll do anything to have a good night's sleep. And I've been trying and failing. And, I would go on like a few weeks getting sleep, and then I would not be able to sleep anymore. Okay. So I went to him for 6 weeks to do hypnotherapy on sleep. And I started sleeping every night, no matter what, even if I was traveling, and it was like a miracle. So I was like, oh my God, this is real. And I was really scared at first because I didn't want to I don't know. I didn't know what he was going to, hypnotherapy. It's scary. You don't know if you're going to be, in the street naked, doing the chicken dance,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I asked to film it the whole time. I was super paranoid. I filmed everything. So I saw that I was just lying there. I was awake the whole time. I was conscious the whole time. I wasn't aware of what hypnosis really was, because you see it on TV and it looks very different than it really is. It's literally just a state of relaxation where your eyes are closed. You're in control the whole time. You're conscious the whole time, and you'll never do anything you don't want to do. So I did the hypnosis with him, and it was super expensive. And I was like, wow, I want to do this for other people because, first of all, I want to be able to do it on myself. It's very expensive. It was like $600 a session. I did 6 sessions. Okay. It's very pricey. So I was like, I want to learn how to do this on myself, on my friends, on my clients. And I think this is the secret, because a lot of people have come to me and they cannot stop eating crap no matter what. Like, I can't help them. It's beyond my help. It's a subconscious thing. So that's when I went to school for hypnotherapy. And then I graduated and I did this course called the 30-day weight loss course. And it's really powerful because I'm realizing a lot of people, they have no control over their actions, because it's coming from a subconscious place where their subconscious programming is telling them to do one thing and their conscious mind is telling them to do something else. And the subconscious mind, Matt, as you know, will always win. Always. So, you might want to be skinny, but your subconscious mind says being skinny is dangerous. You could be attacked. You could be like, people making fun of you or whatever. You have these false beliefs from childhood. People are going to be jealous of you or mean to you or whatever. You're going to lose your family, your friends. I don't know. We have so many crazy beliefs, but anyway, long story short is that have thousands of women who have taken my course now, and they are losing weight for the first time, and it's really working. And hypnosis is for everyone, so I highly recommend this course. And anyone that has any questions on it, you can reach out to me. But yeah, I'm so excited about it, Matt, because it's really working for people that it would never consciously work for.
It's so brilliant to include that as part of what you offer, because, as you said, kind of the key is reaching into that subconscious and changing your own mind. And there's multiple ways you can do that. As we said, surrounding yourself with content is one way to do it. It's a bit slower. It takes a lot of time. I find, like, if I'm trying to really change my habits, usually takes about a week for things to start changing. If I'm just constantly bombarding myself with content on something, it just really does not happen overnight. And I think, like, the younger you are, the more kind of neuroplastic your brain is, the more easily affected you are as you get into adulthood. And for a lot of people, it's even harder when you're starting to get into those older years.
That's a great point, Matt. How old were you when you started this journey?
When I got into veganism, I was around 22 years old. And when I got into raw veganism, the first time I really remember, like, hearing about it, and like I remember watching Doug Graham's video, as you were talking about before. Like, I was like, this guy is crazy. He's like, this is my lunch, and it's like, 12 bananas, and I'm like laughing at him, and he's
This
like,
guy's a psycho.
yeah, he gets the big lettuce, and he's just like, how long does it take to have a bite? He's like, it's like candy. I'm like, this guy's insane. But yeah, I think I was probably 24 when I really started to dip my toes into all of that. And it's kind of developed over the years into probably like a raw till 4 thing most days.
Yes. Now that's a good point. That's a great point. Your age. Okay, so I never thought about this, but yeah, I was 26 when I went raw. So that's a pretty young age compared to the women that come to me, because I've been, coaching women for many, many years now. They're usually in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. So that is double the age that we were when we were open to this and when we started doing this. So what people have to understand is, after decades of you doing the same thing, is going to be hard to break that habit, harder than it was for us. So that's why, my hypnosis course, it is absolutely geared towards people eating raw and high raw, because in the hypnosis, I am reprogramming your mind to crave fruit and vegetables. Okay. So specifically fruit and vegetables, that's what I focus on. Okay. And every single person that goes through the course, they are craving fruit and vegetables. Sometimes they heat it up, right? There's nothing wrong with heating up fruit and vegetables. I don't see a problem with that. So I make sure and let everybody know, you can have cooked food if you want. It's got to be healthy, though, if you want to be healthy. But the thing is that you will not be able to change unless you have the most extremely strong why, or you change your subconscious. And that's the problem. I have women that come to me, Matt, and they have breast cancer and they change. They go raw because they're going to die if they don't. But most people, they don't have that kind of pressure and that kind of accountability and that kind of seriousness. They just have, excess weight and really bad pain and acne and things that are not life-threatening. So when you have a life-threatening disease, you're going to change. But 99% of the population, they don't have that yet. They're on their way to getting it and they don't have it yet. And they know it's coming if they don't change. And so this is where the hypnosis course comes in. It's going to help you change before it's too late or before you have to change. And there have been many people on this planet that they changed too late. They passed away before they could reverse their health issues. So I don't want that for anybody listening. People are listening to this for a reason, Matt. Thank you so much for doing this interview with me. Thank you for having me on your channel, because this interview could save somebody's life. You've got to take this seriously before it's too late. My mom, it was too late for her. My sister, it was too late for her. Many, many people in probably your life, in my life, it's too late now. So you need to stop taking advantage of the time you have here and take it seriously. And, I was just talking to one of my clients today, Martha, about this, how it's such a luxury to have amazing fruit. She went to the farmer's market today and got these raspberries freshly picked, and they're so good. And things taste really good. Your taste buds will change. It will feel good. It will taste good. It will be amazing. You'll find your new favorite fruits, your new favorite recipes, and you won't be feeling like you're missing out on anything. Like you said, Matt, it's so easy now. Like, to me, it's so easy to be raw. I don't have to make the decision anymore. It's like, I want to do this. It tastes so good and it makes me feel so good. And I don't want to suffer like these people I see on the streets, barely can walk, just miserable. Even my doorman, he's just miserable, always in a bad mood. And I'm just like, I can't imagine living like that. And so, yeah, I just want everyone to know that it's possible, and eating raw will become like so second nature to you, but you have to start now. You can't wait anymore.
Yeah, and you're the perfect example of the kind of reprogramming yourself and hypnotizing yourself, because I've heard you say that before. It's so easy to be raw, and that's something you've taught yourself to think as a second nature thing.
Yes, and that's the first hypnosis. The first hypnosis in the course is what I did for myself in 2011, which is, it's so easy to be raw. It's so easy to be raw. And then I just put that in your subconscious. It's so easy to lose weight. It's so easy to be raw. And now, Matt, I'm saying it about everything, and it's coming true. And it's scary how powerful our words are, and especially when you get into the subconscious.
100%. There are kind of other ways to reach the subconscious mind. Something you and I have both explored a bit is EFT. You talk a little bit about that. And what do you see as the difference between hypnosis and EFT? Is one more effective for something versus the other?
I love EFT. It has helped me so much. That's emotional freedom technique, where you're tapping using acupuncture points to tap. It has helped me a lot. But I found that EFT takes a lot longer because you're doing it on a conscious level. Whereas hypnosis, it can be one session, and on day 22, I have a client, Liz. She did day 22 hypnosis, which is loving exercise and starting to crave exercise. And she said ever since that day, she has wanted to move her body every morning. As soon as she wakes up, she goes out for a walk. She joins me for the workouts, and she's now craving exercise. So hypnosis can work extremely quickly. EFT is so good for you. It lowers your cortisol levels. It can help you to release trapped emotions. It can help you to release phobias and all types of things, but it might take a little bit longer because of the conscious versus the subconscious. Hypnosis is like magic that most people don't know about and they're not taking advantage of. And you don't have to do my course. Hypnosis, you can do it. You can find a practitioner, or you can just go to YouTube and you can type in, hypnosis, guided hypnosis for weight loss, and just do it every day. It's going to help. It's going to create miracles in your life. Oh, I have a few as well on YouTube.
Oh, great. Cool.
Yes.
That's awesome. Did you get a recording when you went to get professional hypnosis? You went once a week, you said, for 6 weeks. Did they record the session for you? Then you would do it every day up until the next session?
No, I recorded it, but I only did it once. I only did each session once, and he said, just do it once a week with me. And then if you still have sleep problems, then you listen to it again. But I never had sleep problems again. So, I mean, I sleep every single night now, every single night, even at my retreat, which normally in the past, I would never be able to sleep because I'd be so stressed. I have so much to do. Like I slept every night. And it's been a miracle for me. I'm really, really grateful. I'm about to go away in 3 weeks. I'm going to a retreat where I'm going to meet Doug Graham and, Fred Bishi and all these people. I'm really excited, especially to see how I sleep ever since the hypnosis. So, yeah.
Wow, that's really, really powerful stuff. Cool. All right, a couple more questions. Talk to me about the importance of goals and motivation versus kind of having your own rules and discipline. I know you're a big motivation person. I think you're a really motivating speaker. I think that's one of your talents. Like there are many raw vegans on the internet, but when I kind of need like a wake up call, you would be the person that I would go to.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you.
Obviously you kind of need both, right? You kind of need to have rules for yourself. I mean, being vegan is kind of a rule. It's a restriction you impose on yourself. And then a goal would be something we can talk about next, which is like you want to open your Fruit is Life cafe. So how do you strike a balance between those two?
Yeah, I think involving other people has been the biggest secret for me personally, because there's no way I'm going to do anything. This is just my personality. I'm not going to do anything unless I have to do it. Okay. And oftentimes I I have someone involved. For example, like I work out with my community 4 days a week. I only do that because I have to. They're gonna show up, they're paying me, and I gotta show up. Yeah, I want to be fit, but I don't have the motivation to do it on my own. So I learned the biggest secret is involve other people. I don't know who I learned this from, but I have many mentors out there. So probably somebody, helped me understand accountability is everything. Is everything. Especially because, I'm not overweight anymore. I don't have any health issues. As far as the raw food diet goes, I mean, I was motivated in the beginning because of being overweight and having cystic acne and depression and all these horrible things. Now, because of habit has taken over. I don't need motivation. I want to eat raw because it's just a habit. It's just like I don't even think about it anymore. So if you can find someone to help you stay accountable, okay? If you can involve them in your daily life or every other day, doing something with them, if you can make it so that you're accountable and then do that long enough for it to become a habit, they say 66 days. That's what they say, 66 days of doing something. And then you don't have to worry about motivation, because the truth is that you are not going to stay motivated. There's no way. I listen to David Goggins every day. I listen to, people, very motivating people, but like I don't stay motivated all the time. The only way that I work out is because I have to. I have accountability. With the raw food diet, I wasn't motivated in the beginning, so I had to make it a habit. I had to do it even when I didn't want to do it. Listen, I was talking about this today with somebody. If you have a craving for something, in the middle of that craving, you're not motivated to eat raw. You want that food. You want that unhealthy food. So what I would recommend is you gotta get some space between you and making that decision. Okay, the time, you need a little bit of time. So get your phone out, set a timer for 11 minutes, and then do something else and tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna eat that food after 11 minutes. Drink a shit ton of water. If you can get outside, if you can do something else, after when that alarm goes off, you're going to come back to your senses and you're going to say, oh yeah, I don't want to eat that. Okay, I won't eat that. I'm going to eat something else. Yeah, I do believe in motivational speakers, and I really feel strongly about consuming that content because it's going to keep you positive. It's going to keep you on track. But you need a plan of action when you're not motivated. And, when you're feeling shitty, you don't want to listen to motivational speakers, right? You're like, fuck it. I don't want to do anything. I want to escape my life, right? So find ways that you can escape your life without ruining your health and your body. I still have vices. Like I watch some shitty fucking reality shows sometimes because that's like my junk food. I'm not going to put junk food in my body. But sometimes I don't want to like watch a podcast. I don't want to learn anything. I just want to zone out. so you can watch a movie, or you can watch some shitty TV, or you can, video games, something. You need something to escape to that's not food. So maybe it's window shopping or online shop. I don't know what it is for you. Not you, Matt, but the person listening. I don't know what it is, right? Because usually I talk to a lot of women and they don't play video games, or they don't do this, or they don't do that. But you got to find something else besides food. Because right now, if you're overweight listening to this, you're escaping in food. But food is ruining your life. Okay. And it's keeping you stuck there. So you need to find some other way. Maybe it's every time you get extremely stressed, you go out for a walk now, or you put on your favorite show, or you put on music and you dance, or you treat yourself to a massage, because motivation is not going to work. It's discipline is not going to work. It's the habit of doing something else that's going to work for you. Okay. We just don't have the discipline and the motivation in the beginning to just do it all on our own. We've got to find a replacement for that escape.
Yeah, that's really, really great advice. I think that the social thing is amazing. That's such a good tip. For me, it's video games, but if I want to still be like productive, I'll listen to a podcast on like health or something while I'm playing the video game. So it keeps like my monkey brain happy, but then I'm also downloading that information. So that's a good one.
That's what I do with working out. Sometimes I'll go on the treadmill and I'll watch my shitty TV. And it's like, okay, I'm doing two things at once, but it feels like I'm escaping, like I'm cheating, because I'm doing this crappy, unproductive thing while I'm doing something productive. And so that's kind of genius. And it's like, we need to give ourselves that break. We can't always be productive. We can't always be perfect. But I'm telling you right now, if you don't get control of your food situation, it's going to control you for the rest of your life. Okay. We've got to get off the processed foods. There's no such thing as moderation when it comes to processed foods. People have called me a fanatic my whole life, but then they passed away from preventable diseases. So it's like, who's the fanatic here? That is extremely insane, to eat yourself to death and lose out on, seeing your grandkids grow up, lose out on the 20, 30, 40 years that you should have gotten here. Okay. It's all the things that you wanted to do. And then you can't do them because you're in the hospital and you're dying. And, then it's going to be too late. This is your wake up call. Okay. So yeah. Thank you, Matt, for letting me say that.
But it's not just about, the possibility of dying, right? It's about the quality of life, because we could all we could get hit by a bus tomorrow, but I just want, like me personally, I want to feel great today. That's what motivates me. And I want to be able to kind of give the most that I can every day. I think that should be what motivates people, rather than, obviously if you get diagnosed with a terminal illness, you want to save your life too, but.
I'm so re-inspired by feeling the pain in my knee from eating salt. I'm so re-inspired, Matt, because I didn't know that it would be like so quick and I could go back to being in pain so easily. Because, I haven't eaten salt in so long that it affects me much more than the average person. And so I didn't know this was possible. And now I realize how quickly I could be in pain again, how quickly I could gain the weight back, how quickly I could have the acne again. And I could be in, and not be able to walk for 15 fucking minutes. And, it's just, wow. Like, we really have this one chance to turn things around, and we can do it. And, you don't have to suffer at all, Matt. Fruit is delicious. I'm not telling people to suffer. That's the thing. It's like, it's a win-win-win. Fruit is amazing and it's so good, and it's summertime. Well, not for you, but for us, it's summertime. Sorry.
The fruit's okay still at the moment, it's not too bad.
Are you in the warm part or the cold part?
I just moved to the warm part a couple of months ago.
Nice.
Yeah. So now we're in the subtropics in Brisbane, Australia. Australia, mate.
Nice.
All right. So if somebody was looking for accountability and they were wanting to eat a higher raw vegan or raw vegan diet, where should they go?
Yes. So, yes. Okay. It's not easy because it's like 1% of the population is vegan and 0.00001% of that population is raw, right? So where are you going to fucking find anyone that you could do this with? So that's why I started Misfit Mondays, which is my private community, and I definitely recommend it. You can find an accountability partner there. I have to tell you, at my retreats, Okay, so everybody that's taken my food addiction freedom course, which I'm not doing anymore, they have been paired up with an accountability partner, and then they meet at the retreat, and it's so amazing, and they have these partners and these best friends for life. You can find that in Misfit Mondays because it's a small little community of people that are doing the same thing you're doing. It's mostly women. And so, yeah, if you're looking for that, check out my website, Ms.FitVegan.com, msfitvegan.com. And yeah, you can reach out to me. You can email me too, because I always have people looking for accountability partners. It really helps. It really helps. I mean, me personally, at the end of the day, I had an accountability partner in the beginning. Okay. My boyfriend, long time ago, 2011, he wasn't raw, but he taught me everything about the raw food diet. And without him, I gotta say, I wouldn't be able to do it because I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and there was no like YouTube. I don't think back then there was no Instagram, and I didn't know what to do. So I'm really grateful, and I would have given up, but he taught me, yeah, the cravings are gonna come. You don't have to give in to them. You got to fill up on food. Got to eat, because if you're hungry, even for a second, you're gonna fucking give in. So yeah, there's a lot of tips and tricks, and I'm gonna be speaking in a few weeks at this retreat, and I'm gonna speak about how to do this in the real world and how to all the mistakes I made. And so come to a fruit festival. That'll work too. Come to my retreats or a fruit festival. You'll meet people that will hold you accountable. That will work too.
What if I live in Australia and I'm
You're
looking
gonna get on the
on
plane.
my time zone? Misfit Mondays is when I work.
Yes, yes.
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe I
you gonna, okay, you know what? You start your own fucking meetups.
can.
You start your own meetups. You start your own online community. You put yourself out there. I had not one vegan friend, not one raw vegan friend, not one healthy vegan friend. Now I have thousands of people all over the world, halfway around the world. Australia, I have people in Holland. I have people in Japan. I have people anywhere I want to go in the world now. I have somebody there, and I could stay with them, and they'll have fruit for me. And it's like, magic happens when you put yourself out there. So yeah, if you really want to get accountable, put yourself out there and start making videos about how you're raw, and then you can't turn back. It's like me, I got to stay raw now because first of all, I want to prove a point. I want to show everyone what a 50-year-old raw vegan looks like. You know, I'm 40 now, right? So I want to show everyone what a 50-year-old raw vegan, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. I'll still be here. Matt will be, hopefully he will be interviewing me, 100-year-old raw vegan. This is what 100-year-old raw vegan looks like. Okay. And I'm excited because Chef Babette is doing it, and she's mostly raw. I mean, yes, she eats raw till 4, basically. She doesn't eat any shitty food. And look at what she looks like. 70 fucking 5 years old. Looking incredible. That's what it looks like when you're eating healthy. So yeah.
I love that. It's very inspiring. Do you still have a new course coming up? Or
No, I don't do the food addiction freedom course anymore. But now it's all about the 30-day weight loss hypnosis course. Okay. That is the secret, because I realized there's just so much I can do with this, with the conscious mind. It's all about the subconscious. And that was the missing link. So I have the 30-day weight loss hypnosis course, which is on sale now. And in that course, you get a bunch of other courses and books from me, including a 6-week how to be a healthy raw vegan and all these different resources. So I'm sure Matt will put the link below. I'll send you the link for that.
indeed.
Thank
Cool.
you.
And Fruit is Life, this
Yes.
this cafe. Do you want to talk a little bit about your vision for that?
Yeah, it will happen. I don't know when, but the dream is to have a fast fruit restaurant where you walk in and you can, within 5 minutes or less, walk out with a meal of fruit, having nice cream, smoothies, smoothie bowls, having amazing tropical fruit. I want to start it here in Miami because we have access to the tropical fruit, hopefully branch out to different parts of the world. The thing is, I want to normalize fruit as a meal, Matt, because, you know, just like you, I was very concerned when I saw somebody eating fruit as a meal. I was raw and I was like, this guy's crazy. But now I see it's because it wasn't common. It wasn't like the norm. So I want to make it the norm to eat a mame sapote for lunch, or eat a bunch of, you know, a big bowl of watermelon for dinner. You know, I want to normalize eating fruit as meals. So that's what the cafe is about. I'm hoping it will happen this year or next year. And then I want it to be a place where people can come and meet their accountability partner. They can meet their soulmate or their next roommate or their business partner. It can be a place where people can come and meet other like-minded fruity cuties from all over the world. So hopefully.
Cool. It's such a good idea. I've had the same idea before, but a little bit different. But maybe
Oh,
we can get one going in Australia, one in my.
yes. And Matt, you've got to come to America. Have you been here before?
Yeah, I'm actually going to America on Wednesday.
What? Where are you going?
But it's for work. I'm going to Portland.
Whoa. Well, listen, the Woodstock Fruit Festival, the next one is August 2026 in California. So I definitely want you to go. And I'll send you more details. We're going to be announcing it very soon. But yeah, that's a special announcement here on FRUITion exclusive. Woodstock 2026 is going to be August 2026 in Cobb, California, which is near San Francisco. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Very exciting.
You got to make it. Matt, you're going to love it.
I know I would. I'm just like, oh, the flight and the cost, but I'll give you a maybe. I would like to.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this. It's been really nice talking to you again. I would rejoin Misfit Mondays, but I can't make it due to work. But if you ever do Misfit Saturdays,
it doesn't sound the same, but yes.
Yeah.
One day, Matt, because you're amazing. We really, really loved you there. And then when you were not able to be there anymore, oh my God, I'm hearing every week, where's Matt? I'm like, fuck Matt, I'm here. What do we need Matt for? I'm here, ladies. Okay, but everybody loved you, so yeah.
Well, it was really nice to chat to you guys and be a part of that community, and maybe I can have some of the members from your Misfit Mondays community on FRUITion. That would be amazing. Thanks again, Jeannette. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Matt. You're amazing. Let's do this again. Love talking to like-minded people like you that get it. And I'm so grateful that we connected, so far. Like we're so, in such different like parts of the world, but yet, we're so similar, and I'm just so grateful to you. So thank you very much. And bye to everyone that's here. And I'll talk to you guys soon.
Cool. Bye, guys. Thank you.